microorganisms are used as food source on their own, or when they are used to produce macronutrients like proteins, single cell protein. The second example where biotechnology used to produce food from microorganisms is the production of mycoprotein. Myco refers to fungus. Protein made from fungus. There are special fungi which is known as Fusarium, especially Fusarium 2 species, Fusarium graminearum and Fusarium venenatum. These are the two species of Fusarium filamentous fungi which multiply in very fast rate when they are provided with cheap nutrition and suitable environmental condition at industrial scale as fermenters or vats. They multiply within a short period of time in large mass, and they are rich source of protein. You see? Rich source of protein. But not only protein. Mycoproteins, I think sometimes it's misnomer. Mycoprotein, the name may seem that these are proteins made from fungi. These foods are not only with proteins, it's composed of even fiber, minerals, vitamins. Of course, it's less, very minimum in its fat content, which makes these food sources healthier as human food. Healthier because fat, especially in obese individuals, their nutrition should contain minimum amount of fatty substances. Mycoproteins are rich in protein, yes. They are rich in minerals. Even they do have fiber for active digestive system to be active, to prevent constipation, so that you can eliminate your feces easily. You need certain amount of fiber in your food. Therefore, it contains fiber also. Therefore, even its taste is also similar to chicken taste. Very delicious chicken taste. Therefore, mycoprotein is protein-rich food, not only protein. Just it contains, I have told you, it contains fiber, it contains minerals and vitamins, even a small amount of carbohydrate, and very minimal amount of fat, which makes this food type, fungus-produced food, a very excellent food as far as its nutritional content is concerned. Mycoprotein is protein-rich food made from filamentous fungi, commonly Fusarium. Remember this Fusarium species. And the fungus is cultured on a solution of glucose. You give it glucose. How can you get this glucose? You just process corn starch. Corn starch is processed, broken down to give you glucose. Glucose is dissolved glucose solution. You provide this glucose to this fungus in industrial scale. Then you give him the fungus nitrogen source. You add ammonia as nitrogen, small amount of ammonia as nitrogen source. You give some mineral salts for the fungus, because it needs it for its multiplication, and also some choline growth factor, small amount. You add small amount of mineral salts, choline, nitrogen source ammonia, and carbon source glucose. If you provide this simple nutrition for this fungus, you can get large amount of this fungus grown overnight, so that you dry it, process it, you extract the DNA, the RNA, you just prepare it in a dried form, and the culture of those of the fungus is made in a fermenter that is maintained at 30 degrees Celsius to promote optimum growth rate. Fusarium reproduces quickly. You see, this is one advantage of this fungus. It multiplies very rapidly, making a mass of mycelium which is harvested and treated to remove a lot of RNA and DNA. There is a mechanism to treat so that you can remove large amount of RNA and DNA, because we don't need too much RNA and DNA in our food. They produce uric acid inside our body, which is not good. Then it is spiced. You add spice, you add salt, and dry it, and you shape it. Process shape it just like this, chunks. You shape it in chunks or cakes for eating or taking packet and take it to the supermarket. It is marketed in England and some European countries. It has this trade name, corn. Corn is microprotein produced from fusarium. You see, this bag just like this. Really, even its appearance is really attractive. It opens the appetite. It is delicious with the taste of, I've told you already, chicken taste, chicken flavor, and highly demanded in the market. Therefore, such industries are very profitable industries. You see, we are using fungus rich in protein, not only protein, minerals, vitamins, like vitamin B2, vitamin B12, and rich in fiber, rich in protein and food. This mycoprotein is an excellent food because what makes mycoprotein excellent food, it contains high protein, I've said it already. It has low fat content because we don't eat fat, especially fat obese individuals. You have to avoid fatty foods. Has no cholesterol, imagine the bad cholesterol, and contains enough fiber. What is the importance of fiber? Having fiber in your food, your digestive system is active, so that when you go to the toilet and shit, you can only push, you apply small pressure to eliminate your feces. Easy elimination of feces. There will not be constipation, which is very ugly, which may constipation may create problem in your sphincter muscles, so that it may expose your body, your sphincter muscles for hemorrhoid. Okay, now so far we have seen two examples, single cell protein and mycoproteins. Single cell protein and mycoproteins. These are the two examples where microorganisms are grown in industries to be used as food themselves as a whole, or you may extract their protein. You may extract their protein and make single cell protein, or protein produced by single cell organisms like bacteria, fungi, yeast, molds, algae. When it comes to the second application area, second food industry, microorganisms used in nutrient production. Now, we are multiplying organisms, we are multiplying microorganisms not to be used as food, just we are making them produce some chemical nutrients like vitamins. This particular area of application especially focuses on using microorganisms to produce vitamins. Which vitamins? 3 vitamins are discussed in your textbook. I will tell you this vitamin. The first vitamin is vitamin C. The second vitamin is vitamin B12. And the third vitamin is vitamin B2. You see? And we can use microorganisms to produce these vitamins in industry. So the vitamins produced by these microorganisms can be applied on our nutrition or food, so that our food will not be deficient in these vitamins. So children will not suffer, or humanity will not suffer from deficiency of these vitamins if you can produce this in industries by using microorganisms, and if you put this in your food will not be deficient in these vitamins, so that you will not be deficient in these vitamins, so that you will not suffer deficiency disease from these vitamins. And this is advantage. Therefore, I'm not going to discuss in detail the process. Vitamin C, just I'll tell you, very important. Microbes used as raw materials in the production of the different types of vitamin. For example, vitamin C is being produced from these 3 bacteria. So these 3 bacteria are used in industries to produce vitamins. And the second, vitamin B2. Vitamin B2 naturally obtained from cereals, vegetables, and yeasts. But its yield, the production of vitamin B2, can be increased 100 to 300 times by using microorganisms. Which microorganisms are used? You can see vitamin B2, riboflavin, is produced from these three bacteria. And I mean two bacteria. This one is Candida. There are many species of Candida. This is mold, yeast-like fungus. These are two bacteria. When it comes to B2, B12, all these are bacteria, Pseudomonas, dinitrificans, Propionibacterium, Shermani, and Schnozebium medillothi. These are all these bacteria which are used in the production of vitamin B12 at industrial scale. B12. Therefore, these are the microbes you should know, the different types of bacteria listed here, microbes. And the production process, how do we produce industrially? I'm telling you, the production process involves the following. Preparation of medium. You provide medium. Medium means the nutrition, the food source for this bacteria and for these molds to grow. Medium. You provide food in industrial scale, industries. Then fermentation process. When you provide food and keep normal condition, normal temperature, the temperature required for normal reproduction of these microorganisms plus normal pH, they undergo chemical reaction by using the food you provided. Then in the chemical production fermentation process, they produce you this vitamin. You extract the vitamin, filter, extract, and prepare it in any form, in the powder form, whatever liquid form, and you apply it in your food. You see, these are the three processes. I'm not going to discuss in detail the process. The production process involves for these three steps. If you need detailed aspect of all these stepwise processes, you can ask for more, and please put me comments. Anyone who needs further information on the whole process. Otherwise, the textbook do not even go further into these steps. If anyone is interested in the further knowledge on this process, industrial process, you can put comment so that contact me and I will provide you the information. Okay, now we are done. The third. We are coming to the third, the most utilized aspect of microorganisms. Remember, first we have seen when microorganisms themselves are used as a whole, as a food, wholly as a food, or you may extract their protein and use it as source of protein, single cell protein or microprotein. The whole organism is used as food source. The second, we have seen when microorganisms in industries are used to produce you some nutrition, like which nutrition did you see? The micronutrients, vitamins, vitamin C, B2, and B12. Now here, we are using microorganisms to act on our food, to change chemically. We are providing the food that we want to eat. Say, for example, you have milk. You put this milk, or you add microorganisms to the milk, and the microorganisms in the milk change the milk. They undergo some chemical reaction in the milk, change the milk. The chemistry of the milk is changed. The texture of the milk is changed. The fragrance of the milk is changed. The taste of the milk is changed. Oh, in a good way. They are changing it, not in a bad way. In a good way, so that you like it. You like the taste. You like the smell. And nutritionally also better. Such foods are known as fermented foods. Fermentation. The process is known as fermentation, when microorganisms act on our food and change the smell of the food. Even the color of the food is changed sometimes. Texture of the food. The liquid milk becomes yogurt. Semi-solid or simply solid, you can call it. They change the texture. They change the color. They change the smell and the taste, and also the nutritional content. The nutritional content. Oh, and also the nutritional value of the food, your food, nutritional value. For example, let me tell you in this regard, simple example. Consuming or eating yogurt is far better source of calcium and phosphorus than drinking liquid milk. Yogurt is fermented milk. Using yogurt is far better than using milk as source of calcium and phosphorus. You know why? When milk is changing into yogurt, the calcium and phosphate in yogurt is changed in such a way that it can be easily absorbed in your GI tract, small intestine. It can easily absorb it and taken into your blood, so that your bones, your teeth can use it. Otherwise, if you are consuming the milk, the calcium and the phosphate in the milk is not easily absorbed. If you consume milk, most of the calcium and the phosphate in your milk, liquid milk, non-fermented milk, passes out of your body through the lower opening, through the anus. It's simple waste. You consume calcium in your milk, you take it out. Most of the calcium is not absorbed, because in a liquid non-fermented milk, the calcium and phosphate is not in a way that can be easily absorbed by the GI tract or the gastrointestinal tract. This is one value. It adds value to your food, fermentation. We are seeing that. I will tell you, there are many advantages of fermenting foods. I will tell you this. Now, fermented dairy. First, we have to go to the dairy industry. Dairy means just milk obtained from cattle or mammals. Not only cattle, mammals. Dairy means you can see this milk. It's not milk like something, just milk from mammals. A group of animals which can produce milk to feed their young, mammals. Which milk? All these can be served as cow, sheep, buffalo, goat, camel, even donkey. There are cultures which consume donkey's milk. Yes, it's milk. Milk or dairy is a nutrient-rich white liquid produced by the mammary gland of mammals. Only mammals produce milk for their young. Therefore, milk is really nutrient-rich. Yes, exactly. It's nutrient-rich. Yes, exactly. There is one weak side of milk. If you put milk in unfavorable condition, it can easily spoil within a short period of time. It can easily spoil. This is the bad side of this really nutrient-rich, smart. Sometimes they call it the nectar of mammals, because produced by mammary gland. Mammary glands are found in mammals. They call it nectar of mammals, and they produce this nectar for their young after birth to feed, and this milk is nutrient rich. It contains protein, fats, carbohydrates, minerals, even vitamins. So therefore, all the nutrients, water is there. Therefore, it contains all the 6 nutrient groups. And what is the problem? The problem is easily spoils. Yes, in human beings, you are required to supply your baby additional food after 6 months of only milk food, the milk, the mother's milk. You see, it shows that it is almost complete nutrition, almost complete nutrition. The problem, as I've told you, the problem is there is difference in the chemistry of the milk from the different mammals. Difference. For example, the human milk is with less iron. I mean, the cattle, the cow's milk is with less iron than mammal milk. The cow's milk is with less iron than human breast milk. Human breast milk supplies enough iron. So, if you don't breast, if mothers don't breastfeed, if mothers only feed cows milk for their babies may suffer from anemia because of deficiency of iron. I think that's the problem. Therefore, difference, individual difference. There are differences in the chemistry of the contents of these milk types, not all the same. When it comes to protein, really protein rich, especially two proteins, 80% of the protein in milk is casein. 80% protein, really the most abundant protein in milk is casein. Second, almost 10% whey, the name of the protein, the second abundant protein in milk. And additionally, there is carbohydrates, double sugar, lactose, the milk sugar, the most dominant milk sugar is lactose. And there are minerals like calcium, phosphorus. The richest minerals are not only these minerals, please. The biggest minerals, calcium, phosphorus. The biggest proteins, casein, whey. The biggest carbohydrate, lactose. And the vitamins, the biggest vitamins, A, D, B12, milk contains. Therefore, it's rich. It also contains water, enough water. Therefore, it's rich. The problem, as I've told you, is easily perishable. Underline this. Easily spoiled, easily go off. You don't like the smell, easily spoiled. Then, how can we preserve and use it for long term use? Fermentation is a solution. Fermenting food increases the shelf life of your food. Shelf life means the amount of time your milk product stays healthy without spoiling. Shelf life, you can put it. Therefore, it increases the shelf life. The problem in milk is that it is easily spoiled. In order to better preserve, so that you can use it for long term, make it last longer without spoilage, fermentation. Therefore, if you are asked what is the purpose of fermentation, 1, to increase shelf life. That means make it last longer without spoilage. What is the other advantage of fermentation? I will tell you the other advantage. Immediately. Then, milk fermentation is the culturing of milk in the presence of, you see, what does it mean? Definition. Culturing. Milk culturing or milk fermentation is the process of culturing. Culture means growing microorganisms on a food source. Culture. The nutrient is milk. Therefore, you are making microorganisms which are healthy or at least harmless microorganisms to grow on the milk. So, when they grow on the milk, they are fermenting the milk. These microorganisms are especially bacteria. Which groups of bacteria? There are acronyms: lactic acid bacteria. These bacteria, lots of genus of almost 13 genera of bacteria, lactic acid secreting bacteria. Now, so that the milk undergoes partial digestion by the bacteria. You see, this bacteria especially love to break down the lactose. You see, when you grow this lactic acid bacteria in your milk, Your milk contains sugar. That sugar is lactose. They break down the lactose. When they break down the lactose for their own energy source, they produce lactic acid. That lactic acid is very important for the health of your milk. Therefore, by fermenting or cultivating or culturing milk, we are able to produce different milk products, fermentation milk products. These types of milk products are discussed in this text. The first, the most common worldwide is yogurt, industrially as well as locally at home, yogurt. The second is buttermilk. We call it buttermilk. I'll tell you what it is. The third is acidophilic milk, acidic milk. Not that strong acid, just weak acid, acidic, acidophilic. The last is cheese, maybe the oldest product of fermentation of milk is cheese. Therefore, these are what? The fermentation products or cultivation products of milk. Therefore, these are fermented milk products. Fermented milk products. We ferment milk to make it yogurt. We ferment milk to make it buttermilk. We ferment milk by using different types of bacteria to make it acidophilic or acidic milk. We ferment milk finally to produce cheese. Cultured or fermented milk, or this fermented milk products or fermented dairy products, also known as cultured dairy foods or cultured dairy products or cultured milk products, is lots of names. Dairy and milk. You can use interchangeably using fermented milk products, fermented dairy products, cultured dairy foods or cultured dairy products or cultured dairy products or cultured milk products all are the same. Cultured, fermented. You can use it interchangeably. Dairy, milk. Food or products you can use interchangeably. Are dairy foods, dairy food, be careful. This dairy refers to the milk that we obtain from mammals. Otherwise, there are some liquids which look like milk. You see? Is there any other milk than dairy milk? Yes, there are milk. Milk or milk-like liquid substances that we get even from plants. Soybean milk. They give it the name milk, of course, but totally different, except the color and their appearance, liquid texture. Otherwise, the chemistry is totally different. Therefore, when we say dairy, the term dairy is applied only when we are obtaining that milk from mammals, dairy mammals. Dairy foods that have been made by fermenting milk with lactic acid bacteria. These are the most important lactic acid bacteria. These are the best friends of humanity as far as milk fermentation is concerned. Don't forget, please, there are 13 genera. 13 genera. Each genera may contain thousands of species of bacteria. In this group, LAB, lactic acid bacteria. These are the most common. Lactobacillus, Lactococcus, Streptococcus, Leuconostoc. You see, they are always there. They are always there in the breast of the cattle, the breast of the mammals, always there in your milk. They are always associated with milk, and they are really friendly, harmless, of course, useful. Believe me, these are useful. Such bacteria include those in the genera Lactobacillus. This addition, Streptococcus, Leuconostoc, I have repeated this lactic acid bacteria, LAB. These are not the only one. I have told you 13 genera, 13. 1, 2, 3, 4. I am telling you only the 4 major as far as our milk is concerned. Milk, the most common. Which this bacteria use this sugar. Milk contains this sugar. They multiply in the milk. They use it as energy source. When they break lactose, they change it into acid. and the energy is used for their growth. Yeah, this is what we give them. Good. When they add this acid to our milk, this acid changes the texture of our milk. Now our milk, because of this acid, our milk becomes semi-solid or solid. ያ ማለት እርጎ አይደለም ማለት ነው። በአሲዱ ምክንያት እርጎ ሆነ ረጋት። Not only this, the bacteria also makes our food rich in some vitamins like vitamin B12. You see? Therefore, the bacteria primarily consume the lactose. በአንድ ጊዜ ወተት በፈሳሽነት ስንጠጣ ብዙ ላክቶስ አለ። እርጎስ ወተት ከረጋ በኋላ ላክቶሱ ምን ሆኗል? ወደ ላክቲክ አሲድ ተቀይሯል። ኦኬ፣ ወደ ላክቲክ አሲድ ተቀይሯል። አንዳንድ ሰዎች ወተት ሲጠጡ ላክቶስ አይመቻቸውም። ላክቶስን መፍጨት አይችሉም። ጨጓራቸው ወይም ትንሽ አንጀታቸው ውስጥ ላክቶስ መፍጨት የማይችሉ ሰዎች አሉ። ላክቶስ ኢንቶለራንስ በሽታ ያለባቸው ይባላል። ጄኔቲክ ዲስኦርደር ነው። ላክቶስን ብሬክ የሚያደርግ ኤንዛይም ትንሽ አንጀት ውስጥ የላቸውም። ወተት ፈሳሽ ጠጡ ማለት ፈሳሽ ወተት ውስጥ ብዙ ላክቶስ አለ። ያ ላክቶስ አይፈጭም። ሆዳቸው ይነፋል፣ ድምፅ አለው፣ ተቅማጥ ይኖረዋል። አይመቻቸውም። ላክቶስ ኢንቶለራንስ፣ ላክቶስን ቶለሬት ያደረጉ። አሁን እርጎ ብሰጧቸው የተሻለ ነው የሚሆነው። እነዚህ ሰዎች እርጎ ውስጥ ምን የለም ወይ ቶታሊ ይሄንን ማን ተጠቅሞበታል? ባክቴሪያው ተጠቅሞታል፣ ወደ ምን ቀይሮታል። ስለዚህ ላክቶስ የለውም፣ ወይም ያለው ላክቶስ ጥቂት ነው። ወተቱ እንዳለው ብዙ ላክቶስ አለ፣ ጥቂት ነው። ለምን? አብዛኛው ባክቴሪያው ተጠቅሞበታል። ስለዚህ ለእነዚህ ሰዎች ከዛ ስቃይ ባይዘወይ ቁርጠትም አለው፣ ሆድ ይነፋል፣ ድምፅ አለው፣ ኢቭን ፍላቱላንስ አለው። ይሄ ፈስ ያበዛል፣ ፈስ አለው፣ በጣም ስቃይ። ወተት ጠጡ ማለት ለእነሱ የሚሻላቸው እርጎ መጠጣቱ። ምክንያቱም ምንድነው? ዮጎርት ኮንቴንስ ሌስ ላክቶስ። ሌስ ላክቶስ ከሆነ አለፈጭ ብሎ ቢበጠበጣቸው ላክቶስ አንጀታቸው ውስጥ አይኖርም። ይሄ ጥሩ ነው፣ አድቫንቴጅ። therefore you can see this fermented repetition ነው። እነዚህ ናቸው fermented or cultured dairy products አይተናል።